Hi, we own a 2019 Subaru Ascent, and we're on our second map light console. So the first one was replaced under warranty. It wouldn't light up properly, and it was making noises and dim lights. So now we're at that point again. We have dim lights, we have electric arcing sounds, and sometimes the light doesn't work at all. These are the original bulbs. We didn't change the bulbs or anything. And, it's something we have to deal with. So one solution is we go to the dealer, we paid him $450 to put in a new console. I could buy the part myself. It's about $180 to $200. At this point, I could change it real quick. It takes about 15 minutes if you're experienced changing this part. You need to open up the eyeglass cover all the way. There's two 8mm bolts. You take those out, and then you follow the rest I have in the video. I forgot to put that part. And you'll have the thing out, and then you disconnect the wires. I show you how to do it. It's really easy. And you'll be good. The problem is, if I change the part again, it's just going to break again, because I've come to discover that it is a defective design, and that's why I made it a permanent repair. So if you go through and watch the video, you'll see a permanent repair to a part that by no means should we be making or have to make. But I did it because I want it to be safe and fixed. Now, it's going to last as long as the burnt up pieces of plastic you're going to see stay in the car. I could always try glue, but I'm going to go with this for a while and see how it works. At the end of the video, I'll show you I'm in the car pushing the buttons out in the dark. You can see it all works and everything's great. Alright, in this picture we have the two circles. Top circle at 12 o'clock shows that distinct dot of where the arcing is, and it's discolored metal from the heat. Around it you'll see some mushy black stuff. That's melted plastic, which I'll show you a close-up of in a while. The bottom circle is the other spot where the socket, you'll see the little brass dot of the socket touches there and arcs. So we have a problem with the light, and we have sparks. We're going to investigate why in a minute. Alright, in this picture, this is the other side of the light, which is showing that this side also has burns where the socket of the bulb makes contact. And there's also, you could see some residual dielectric grease from when I tried to fix it the first time. Alright, in this picture you can see this is the melted plastic from the bulb, causing when it sparks and arcs, you get gets pretty hot, obviously. So the plastic is melted. In one of the videos I'll point out that the metal is actually sunken in, so now it's not sitting on top of the back, it's actually sunken all the way in, and I'll point that out later to you. Okay, so when you turn on the light, you push on that clear cover and your light goes on. Underneath that light is what you're looking at right now, and you'll see there's waviness in some of the picture at about 2 o'clock, and then you see the cracks. The cracks are caused by the heat, and it's pretty much the piece is trashed. So the heat is from the arcing. When you have arcing, you got sparks. The sparks get hotter and hotter and hotter, and it doesn't burn the bulb out, it just stays arcing. And this is what it results in. Okay, this is the other light. You can see it's more damaged than the first one. It's not going to survive. When I resolder, it's pretty substantially burnt. So we'll show you that later from a different view in the videos. Alright, this is the light socket. This is the part that fits on the pieces I've been showing you. And then you can see there's the yellow metal brass piece. That's what, when you insert the light socket, that's what makes contact, and that's what's arcing to the other metal. One of the problems is when you put that in, it bends down. And when it bends down, it doesn't go back up. There's no way for it to go back up. It's a very old design. Here's the socket for the light. This thing dates back to, I don't know, when I was a kid. It's an ancient design. Here's one of the problems with this design, the way they're using it, is this, the piece that makes contacts on either side, it's just a piece of metal. It has no reason to stay pushed out. So these were pushed out when I put it in, and by the time you put it in, they go down. One's down more than the other. And that probably corresponds to right over here. This is the Q-tip. I put contact grease to stop the sparking, but here's where the burning is. It makes contact there, there, and here, and here. You can see the point where it makes the arcing right here. Okay, so over here is the switch. You have 3 connectors in the switch, and you have to have an alternate way for electric to go through. When you push the button, that's one way to turn it on, and then there's the other way to turn it on. So that's how I was figuring, why is there 3 wires? That's why there's 3 wires. So 2 of them are the contact points, and one of them brings the electric back around in here, so that you have the electric when you turn the light on the other way, and then it comes back out here. So now you can see the black burning on this side. See the black right there? It's much more prevalent here. And over here you have the burning. Let me find where it is. Right there. So you have the burning right here. But you also have a big distortion. So this is no longer flat. So this is just an idiotic design that really shouldn't have been done this way. So here you can see you have the... Now these are just the bulbs that came with the car. They're not any hot bulbs or changed bulbs. So nobody could say, even though an LED would have less. So there's a crack there, there's a crack there. We were told this piece was changed and Subaru got charged for it, but that was Staten Island Subaru, so I'm pretty sure this is the original piece. I'm going to check the date to find out, to make sure. So here, we're going to come up with a solution now. So you have these, they don't stick out. So one solution is we could try and solder on the metal. So we're going to try that and then cut this away and solder it in. That's one. These should be fixed. There's no reason for this thing to not be fixed. If you were to unturn the bulb, this is in here, and you just lost your socket, which is where I got a lot of information on the Ascent site. These go in like this. If it turns in while you're changing the bulb, it goes in, and now it's no longer here. So this is like a reverse bulb. You can't get to the other side, so... Not a good design. So we're going to clean that up right there. We're going to see if we can put a little blob of solder on each thing there. I don't know if I could solder to this with just a soldering gun. And we're going to see how that works out in a minute and check it out. And that's a partial solution because we could squish this. Squish this while there's a blob of solder under it. Will make a good connection. But again, I don't know. I'm not sure what this metal is yet. I'm not sure if it's aluminum or metal. It looks like it's just treated metal, which would be weird because you really need a good connection here. But it's obviously arcing continuously here on this side, and arcing continuously here on this side. Now we're going to check the other sides, and we'll see that, yeah, it's only arcing on one side. So there is an instability in the connector, which is causing arcing on 2 different sides. When you start getting some of that space, you get the arcing creates heat, and that's like a snowball effect, and you get more heat. So you can see a temperature difference here on this one here. There's a different color. And this one here, now there's a little grease here. I just didn't want sparks flying, so I put a little dielectric grease when I tried my first solution. The first solution was to just, hey, let's bend these things up, these little connected things. And, you know, you're only going to get a couple of tries with that, so you got to be careful. That didn't work. We still have a dim light, so we're going to try something else. All right, now we cleaned a couple of areas here. You can see this, let me see if I can get this better. That's the point where it was arcing. I'm not sure. I didn't check this with a magnet yet to see what this metal is. It has this coating on it, which is making me think it's a zinc-coated steel. Well, I'm pretty sure it's zinc-coated steel. That might be part of the problem. But I don't think I could solder to this. And if I can't solder to it, it's just the piece has to be replaced again. This would be the second time, supposedly, it's replaced. That means this whole thing. So this is, you know, like $200, you know, complete waste. So I'm going to try over here. If I could solder a little here, then I'm going to try. The next thing is the dot here and the dot here. If I have 2 dots there, and those dots meet these dots, that's how it used to work in the old circuit board, and we're going to be good. But I don't think I could solder to this. I'm going to do the same thing here. The second thing is if we could solder, but that doesn't work, then we could take this and solder a wire here and a wire here. Put this in, and then you would just need to break these wires here, the proper wires, which I'd have to figure out with a meter to see, to make sure which one is the switched and which one isn't. Actually, that wouldn't work, would it? No, that won't work, because then you wouldn't turn your lights on, so that's not going to work. That's a little more than that. Yeah, you'd have to solder it 3 times. Not once. Not twice. 3 times to get it to work right. Then you'd solder a wire onto the metal here. Well, you'd have 2 wires soldered there. So let's see if we can solder to this metal. That's what we're going to do. Alright, so I don't solder much. This is it. You're going to see a couple of things here that'll take you back. One is it says you are listed for a soldering thing. And 2 is Radio Shack. Division of Tandy Corporation. Fort Worth, Texas. This thing's over 40 years old. Because I'm old. Let me put a little bit of metal here on the outside to see how it goes. Now, of course, we are going to spread heat that we don't want to spread, but it's all covered by the light cover. So right there, we put a little solder. We're going to try it again. All right, so we just sat here with the iron here. I don't know if it melted it too much. I can't tell right now. Obviously, we sanded off this galvanized coating. This is just electronic solder, old stuff. Probably lead-free though, but nothing special. It's got a core for I think this has to be sanded more, these 2. These aren't sanded enough. So anyway, it's got a flux core. We're going to clean it off and see if it comes off. So here we got, we'll clean this a little more here. So we're going to look for a permanent cure here. So we put a little solder here and we're going to give it a flick with this. I already did this off camera. I don't normally video stuff, but so I'm pushing on that pretty hard. I could probably get that off, but it's going to stay. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut the plastic right here away so that we could solder this in. So this plastic right where the corner of my nail is coming out. This is going back in. Now we're going to solder this to the place where it rests. And the place where it rests are across from this white mark and this white mark. And then over here it goes across from, these aren't too white, these marks. This white mark right here and this white mark right here. That was in case I wanted to do a different repair, because another repair you could do is somebody said, I think the word was bogle wire, so you could solder to this here, you could solder to this here, you could put this back in, and then you could solder the pieces of wire in. And you'd be soldering them here and here. But we're just going to try and jump that idea out to just solder the piece in. Then we will have a fixed socket that cannot arc anymore. All right, there was something I wanted to point out here, that these pieces of metal, it's a little hard, I'm making it bigger. Okay, so let me get this here. Okay, these pieces of metal are, you see I'm hitting the edge there, it's raised. See it? And we got it nice and clean here and here. Now, when you go over to this one, and you go in here, you'll notice that it's so melted that it is actually melted into the plastic there. You see it? There's no real lip there anymore. This sits on top of this plastic, but that has melted so bad, see it, that this is all the way down now. Now, the thing is, should we have to fix this? The answer obviously is no. Should we be doing this? Probably not, but is this safer than just getting a new one? I could get a new one. Subaru even gave me the money to get a new one. Well, they gave me money. They didn't say it was for that, but the problem is this piece is defective, and should we have sparks in our car is the question. No, you shouldn't have sparks up here that are melting plastic. That could be a bad thing. So you could see the squished melted plastic right there. I'm hitting it with this nail set. So we definitely have a problem here. And we're going to try and address it by cleaning the rest of this. And right here is where we're going to be soldering the piece in. There's probably there's the mark. So we got to get some solder there. Here, here, and wherever I am right now. And of course we got to clean it, sand it, and clean it, and give it a shot. So here we need to highlight dumb. Okay, I know what's his name from the forum isn't going to be happy, but this is a socket. You see it? Now it fits in this one better, so we're going to go here. So normally you go like this. You take out your bulb, you put your bulb in, put your socket in, and get your socket in the hole there. You know, I don't even have to see it. Okay. And you turn it. You're done. This one goes... These are a little distorted, so they're a little hard to put in right now. So you can tell which way it goes. It goes, if the slice is right there, it goes this way. So this one goes clockwise. So you put it in, and that's locked. It's not too locked, though, because it's not made to be used that way. This one, because of the distortion here, has a lot of trouble fitting. So you put it in, and again, you could tell which way it has to turn. You just look at this, and this tells you it has to go that way because it has that little slit there. So now you put it in, and that's the problem, right? Now you put it in, and we're gonna have a little trouble. Okay, so we got it in because it's bent over here, so it doesn't fit anymore. Now it wants to bend as I do that. So now I got it in, and okay, so we got. It's not bad. Okay, but the problem is when you do this, change your bulb and all that. The problem is you can't get here because we see this side. So that's not really good design for us, is it? No. But it's what they went with for whatever reason. So now we're marking off. We're going to mark off the areas. We're going to make sure that we have bare metal that's shiny. A little bit of, this is like a 400 sandpaper here. Just sand it up. And what we do 1, 2, 3, and 4. And here we can see where we're going to hit. We want to make sure that's clean. Now, I have this one in and this one out. So we got this one here, and it shows that's plastic down there, which I could show you right there. And so we're going to cut that plastic right there out, and that's going to leave our exposed metal connector, and we are going to solder in the metal connector once it's exposed. So we want to expose it, otherwise we're going to be burning the plastic right here, which we don't want to do. So we're going to move it up a little, cut it out real carefully with a small plier, and put it back. Now when we put it back, we don't want to crush down. When I put these back the other day, I did 2 things. I said, okay, I said, let me look it up again, what the guy said to do or what he did. It didn't work for me. So these I bent down all the way, and you just stick something in there and bend it down to make contact. The problem is these are relatively both clean. Normally that little bump back in the day would land on a little bump of solder. That's how this works. It's got to be a bump on a bump. So this is the bump on this side to make contact. See them? Different size bumps. Yeah, it kind of looks, I don't know, it might be the light. But they did this wacky design, which is great if you could reach through the top of the car, the roof or something. You'd be able to put it on. But yeah, these are both clean. And we are going to solder them in a minute and see how that works. So when you solder it in, here's the solder. You put your iron here. Here's the iron. Got an iron. This is the one I told you about. It's from whenever. Put your iron on. I was thinking I might use some different flux, but I'm just going to go with the electric. And you put your iron on here. You heat it up for a while. And it heats up. And then you just touch the stuff to it, and it's going to melt. And you'll see that it melts the stuff here. See, it's all melted. And as long as you're doing it at a hot temperature, it's going to stay. So there you go. You got a thing of solder. The brown stuff around the outside is the internal core for electric solder. It has an internal core flux. And you can see we got a nice thing. We were showing that it's still stuck on and all that. So we got good adhesion here. We're going to solder this in and fix it. Okay, back. Alright, so some of these have loose, so the bulb connector itself is loose in some cases. So probably take it out. We're going to clip this piece of metal out, and we're going to put it back all together in here. And then we are going to solder it. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, so one thing we've discovered right away trying to clip out the piece is that these are extremely brittle, and it's not, they don't have any heat damage on them, so I'm not going to say it's from heat, because that would leave some telltale signs. But this is extremely brittle plastic, so keep that in mind. One thing if you want to tackle this. Alright, so we're going to be very explicit. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 spring-loaded connectors. Over here, along the headline, I stuff a piece of paper there. It's right after this turn. Stuff a piece of paper, bend it out with a screwdriver, and this will pop out. Then you could work your hand here, pop out this one. When these two are out over here, then, let me see if I get this. Then these two, you just pull down on this a little. As you go there, this one's going to pop and that one's going to pop. So that's the 4 of those. Then you have 3 connectors. You have this one here and this one here, which kind of hold it up. 4 connectors. This one and this one. So this powers everything here, I think, or most of the things, doesn't it? Yeah. This does a couple of the switches. Then you have these two. So now how do you get these out? You take anything. Don't use this. I'm just going to show you. You get something like a butter knife will do it easy. And you just, here, we'll do it on this one. This one's easy. So they all have a little thing like this, and you just press right here. And if you press here, or if you stick something in there, if it's hard, you press there. Press here or here. If you can do here, you do here. If you can't, you stick something there and you do there. This will go down, and you'll pull it right off. So, I don't know if I have something here to show you. This is not a good idea, so I'm probably not going to do it. But here we go. There's the connector piece right there. You just push down. So you're just pushing down on the C. See it? Oh, that doesn't even move. So I'm doing it blind when I do it. But you just push down on this, and it takes this edge away. So you do it to each one. You do it to this one. You do it to this one and this one. You make sure this piece is going to now be loose, and it's going to bend down if you're not holding it, because you don't want to drop it. This one here, you do the same thing. But what you want to be is very careful, because these 2 connectors here don't have sockets. They have splines, and you don't want to bend them. So you see the spline sticking out? You got to be really careful here. If you bend one of those, you're going to be spending a while trying to straighten it to get it to work again. So as long as you start out, you line it up and you're able to push it in, it should go in right. If you ever think you have a problem there, you just look in and see if one's bent out of place. They're pretty uniform. But as long as you're sliding it straight in, it's going to go straight in. Should be enough space that it can't actually kink it, but you never know. So those 2 have that. These 2 might have it, I doubt it. Oh, look at that. What do you got there? 1... Doesn't look like you got too many on this one. So yeah, the window sunroof only has 2. And 1 or 2, I can't really see. I see 1, but it's got to be more than 1. This one looks like a whole bunch. You just got to be careful. They go right back in. Alright, so I'm going to do this one-handed. I got no stand. I don't normally make a video. But we're going to show continuity across the battery. So here's the battery. We're going to go there. And there. Let me just get that a little better. So you can see we got continuity across the battery, so that means we have a connection here and here. Now we're going to go continuity across the battery, wherever that is. We're doing that right here, and that shows here and here. Now the other one, I guess it's that one, won't go on unless I do this, right? See? And if I do it again, it's going to turn off. That's the switch. See, it's off. Now I turn it on, and it's on. So that's the switch you would normally turn on and off using this switch, and then there has to be another switch that connects somewhere else. And at this particular point, we're getting it in a closed position. I don't know why. It probably just goes through here. Oh yeah, and then it goes to the other switch in the car to turn on the lights. That's why. So I don't work on, I'm not, whatever I know, I kind of figured out. So you got some other parts in here. You got a lot of wires in here for, this brings power somewhere. So they're not really, I'm not too sure why they have that. They only have 2 wires on it. It's just a little weird. It looks like it was Something that changed design-wise. I don't know. A little weird. Oh, no. Because it does provide power to... Oh, yeah, it does the... Oh, okay. So that's a switch. All right. Don't drive the car. That's a switch. This is switch, connector. Switch. And then you have this. Switch. So... It is a little weird. But we do have continuity across here. Continuity across here. We have, as we expected, significant damage to the plastic there now that we put more heat on it. But this is going to be closed by the lens. And this is going to be closed by the lens. So these are soldered in. And if you wanted to take out your battery, you would just pull it out and push it in. When we push it in, we're going to go obviously check. Now that one there, you don't want to be pushing on that one. That was in pretty bad shape. So, well, I'll check continuity again on that one to make sure it's okay. Put it in, the lights work fine, except we're having trouble with this door switch. It's making a buzzing sound, so something's wrong there. It sounds like it's a timer light, but looks like there's a little short right there. So I'm going to see what's under there. I might have joined a piece of metal. It doesn't get joined. Yeah, I did. I must have. It's very hard to see. Alright, so where it's circled, there's obviously some solder defeating the purpose of the switch. So when the switch was supposed to be working, there was a buzzing sound, so I figured something was wrong. And you'll see later, I go back, I take the plastic out, I take the solder out from between the two pieces of metal there, and it works fine after that. That was the only problem. This is easier to see, that, when you're looking at it without any magnification, it's kind of hard to figure out what's going on. So, alright, this picture's blurry, but it shows. I took all the I put the soldering iron in along the groove of the two metals. Melted a little of the plastic, as you can see, pushed the metal out, the solder, and it works fine now. There's no problem. You'll see in the next video. Lights work fine. Okay, so here's the final video. Great. Watch it break while I'm doing this, right? So, that would be funny. Okay, so it looks good. Now we got our door switch. We go to off, no buzzing, open the door, nothing, turn it on. It makes that little lip, I don't know why. Makes the lights go on and they fade on. Then they should fade off. Good. So this is the one that had, I think, all the damage. So, okay, now we're going to shut off the car and have it fade off. Okay, so I think when we shut off, yeah, it goes on and fades down. There you go. Alright. So, this is the first time I've made a video like this. I used iMovie, kind of learned how to use it along the way here. And the light's fixed, works fine. So I don't need to replace it. That would be the third one inside the car. If I did it again, it would just break again. So I didn't do that. What's the point of the video, though, is obviously not, hey, run out and fix your light. The point of the video is that Subaru really needs to fix this. Now, maybe they did fix it and didn't tell us. I've had that happen before. When the car first came, there was, very shortly after owning the car, we found out that the springs didn't fit in the strut. That was a very loud, annoying noise, and it took a while to get corrected. But I guess that's how it goes sometimes. You learn, right? All right, thanks for watching.